instant gratification is a myth. It is not real. That is not how the world works. Because like social media gives us the false impression. Because like right now when we are craving connection or craving status, for example, all we have to do is make a post and it will get instantly likes, people will comment on it, so we are instantly like satisfied basically. But like our brains are not used to it, and that is actually really damaging, because how we are evolutionary wired for like tens of thousands of years is through delayed gratification. Like back in the hunters gatherers time, if we were hungry, if we wanted some food, we couldn't get it immediately. First, we needed to get the tools ready and stuff like that. Then we needed to go out very far into the wild to hunt for some animals, for example. And then we were failing a lot of times. And then when we succeeded, when we catch something, then we needed to draw it all the way back into the camp basically. And then other people needed to prepare the food, and it could take like a whole day until we finally are satisfied, and until we got the gratification of the food. Now, like when we are hungry, all we have to do is like walk downstairs to the refrigerator, for example, and like get some food and get it instantly. But like I said, this is really damaging, because that is not how our brain works. And with most meaningful things, with most goals, it doesn't work like that. Because, for example, if you're trying to become successful, you can do it in a few weeks. You won't immediately see progress. Like there you have to do a lot of like a lot of work, a lot of discomfort, without seeing anything in return for it. And this is basically how it actually works, because look at a gym, for example. Like, will you really see the effect of one workout? No. Sometimes when you're working out, it might even see that you're working out for a week, but then it will look like if you're like declining, because you can push less weights, for example, or you get less muscular, and even with a week of like intense training. And with the gym, we can accept it because that is just how it works. But with success and with getting rich and with getting money, a lot of people won't accept it, and they expect immediate results. But then again, that is not how it works. And there is this thing like this is basically what I saw from Sam Ovens once. So here, right here, this is your memory. Can you see it? Yes. And here is the effect. And because what happens is like the efforts will compound over time. So for example, when you are doing an action, then the memory is really high, right? So when you're just doing something, you of course remember that you did it, but over time you will start to forget that you even did the action in the first place. And then what happens is suddenly, like a few months later, or maybe like even years later, then the effect will come. And there's this period, right, and nothing. And because this is what happened a lot, because I was able to go from pretty much 1K per month to 4K per month in like 1 month. So I quadrupled my income in a time stack of 1 month. Then a lot of people, they ask me like, hey, what did you do? Like what did you do this month? Because you must have done really good things this month. But that is not how it works. How it basically worked is you first did a lot of, because the results that I got from that month was basically the compounding effect of months and maybe like the 2 years of building before it. Like in the first 15 months of me actively trying to earn money online as an educational creator, I didn't earn anything. But what I was doing is I was building my knowledge, I was building my skills, I was building my network. Then there is this period where nothing happens, and then suddenly there is the effect. Suddenly there is the effect, but it is not suddenly. And this is what you have to understand. Like, instant gratification is a myth. The only thing that there is this one trait, and you already know what I'm about to say. There is one trait that helps people to, or that successful people share, and that is being able to delay the gratification. And this, it takes a lot of mental strength, right? Because it requires patience. You have to do a lot for it with constantly doubting, will I get anything in this for this in the return? But you just have to trust that if you put in a lot of effort, that something will come out of it. That is like the cause and effect. And for every cause, there is an effect. For every action that you will take, there is an effect, and those effects will compound over time. Because like one bad habit, it isn't the end of the world. But what happens is if you do a few bad habits, like consistently over a long time, that compounds into the negative. So like this is, let me explain this by the following. Okay, so there is the compounding effect can happen in multiple ways. So for example, you start, this is like 1. Yes, this is like 1, this is like the base layer, right? So this is base layer. And if you are doing good habits, for example, then what starts to happen is eventually it will start to compound. But if you do bad habits, it starts to go down. So when you are doing a lot of bad habits, like one bad habit can't hurt, right? Like, oh yeah, I can keep playing those video games, or I can keep drinking or smoking or whatever. Like, of course, here it doesn't seem like anything is changing. But if you do the habit enough, and if you do like multiple bad habits, then eventually you will start to go downward, and you will start to go like literally through zero. This is like literally hell. Like, but if you do good habits, and like you do the good actions basically, then what happens is first you won't see nothing. Like, the difference between good habits and bad habits, for the longest time it is kind of the same. So to you it might not really you will probably do the bad habits because that is much more stimulating, that is much more fun to do, and the difference between those two things isn't a lot. But over time, when you look like 10 years into the future, then look what happened to the people who did the bad habits, and look what happened to the person who did good habits. Like, this is basically the time, right? And like we mentioned, it takes a while for the effects to actually start to happen, because instant gratification doesn't exist. Like, the only thing that is real is like the delayed gratification, what happens over time. So really keep this in mind. And if you are spending a lot of time and energy and effort and you are not seeing any progress, just keep going, because of the cause and effect. And the effect, it needs some time for it to actually start working in your favor. Because, like, for me, like I said, in the first 15 months, I earned nothing. Then in the few months after that, I earned $10,000. And like, it is only going upwards from here. So remember this, like, what you are not earning now, you will make up for it in the future. Like, first you have to do a lot of work for free or for really cheap. I still work for pretty cheap, because even though I earn like 4 to 5k per month, I work a lot. So I would probably be better off like working this many hours in a 9 to 5. But eventually the results start to catch up. And this is basically what happens. And this is how I know that I will be at 10k per month, between 10k per month and 100k per month in probably like the next year. So you just need to be first be aware of what is actually happening. Yes, of course, you might not start to see a lot of results, but eventually it will happen. So yeah, just keep going, don't quit, and you will get there eventually. Bye.